What's up guys, this is Justin here, and in this video I'm going to go over the 5 things that you're probably going to forget to bring to Manila, Philippines. The first thing that you're probably going to forget to bring is this little guy right here. That is a SIM card poker or SIM card opener tool. When you come to Manila, of course, you're going to want to swap your previous SIM card that you had in your origin country for a local SIM card. So you have a Philippine phone number so you can receive calls and texts from other local Philippine businesses and people, basically. I can't tell you how valuable it is to actually just bring one of these with you because they are a little bit tricky to track down and find. I actually got mine from a phone repair shop and I just negotiated a price. It was like, I don't know, 50 pesos or 75 pesos or something like that. Yeah, it'd be just easier if you bring one with you. You can just save yourself that process. One other quick tip I have for you, I have a newer iPhone that I brought with me that I'm using for pretty much everything that I do here, and I have my local Philippines SIM card, and I actually recommend Smart or Globe. I personally have Smart 5G and it's really good. It's really fast. I get about 100 to 150 megabytes a second, and I recommend the unlimited 5G monthly data plan. I pay about 599 pesos with that, and I just reload it using the GCash app. One other quick tip I have for you as well is on my other previous iPhone, I actually just put my United States SIM card in that. That way, anytime any of my family members or friends or people back home send me a text message, or if anything related to United States comes through, I can just check that phone because I have my United States SIM card already in that phone. As long as it's connected to Wi-Fi, then I can receive all of that information, the texts and calls, etc. Otherwise, before, what I was doing before I realized that, I was actually putting in that United States SIM card into my other newer phone like once or twice a week, which was a pain. So if you just have a separate older model phone that you can put your previous SIM card in, and when you just charge it connected to Wi-Fi, you can get all the messages and stuff like that. Of course, there is other ways you can, of course, switch your WhatsApp, your Viber, etc. to the new phone number, but for classic SMS and classic phone calling, outside of those third-party apps that are super useful, this is just an extra tip for you that can save you some time and energy. The second thing you're probably going to forget to bring is this guy right here. Link in description. This is actually a battery operated fire alarm and simultaneously carbon monoxide detector. It's very important to have a carbon monoxide detector and a fire alarm that's battery operated that you can just bring with you. It's very easy to pop the batteries outside of this thing so it doesn't accidentally go off. It's very easy to test the battery life. You just a test button on it. You just click it one time, and if it beeps very loud one time, that means the batteries are fine. And here's the second thing I recommend you can buy. All this stuff is on Amazon. This is actually a battery case. This is a case for your AA batteries for the fire alarm. And then you can put this in there, and you can put it in your travel case with your carry-on. You can double check me on the TSA regulations and stuff like that, but I'm pretty confident. I'm like 99% sure you can bring those on a carry-on because I did. The rules always change though, so always do your own research when you're following my advice. But bringing those with you is great because if you're staying at a lot of Airbnbs and stuff like that and you're bouncing around all the time, all of your appliances and stuff like that might not always be electric. They might be electric sometimes, but sometimes you might have gas related appliances or something like that. And rather than having the headache and having to have that as even 1% uncertainty, just bring this portable bad boy with you so you have a spare fire alarm, and most importantly, carbon monoxide, which you can't see, you can't smell, you can't taste, and it's absolutely very dangerous. It's very lethal if you're sleeping if there's a carbon monoxide type of leak. And put this next to your head somewhere, like when you're going to bed at night, to know you have something watching your back. The third thing I recommend that you bring are actually snack clips for foods when you're grocery shopping. Those are hard for me to find. I haven't been able to find them yet. So I actually bought a hair clip from 7-Eleven to act as a snack clip for the foods, because honestly, when you have foods in the pantry, sometimes there's bug problems in Philippines. The last thing you want to do is open up a bag of chips or snacks, and because you didn't have a snack clip sealing it to preserve the freshness, this sounds ridiculous, but it's true. And you want to prevent bugs from getting in there because nothing will ruin your day like that will. That hasn't happened to me yet, but it's probably because I have hair clips that I bought from 7-Eleven. But on Shopee or Lazada.ph, you could probably buy actual snack clips, but I just use these hair clips as a substitute for now. And yeah, that's the third tip. The fourth thing I recommend you don't forget to bring is a stainless steel mug of some sort. This is stainless steel on the inside, and I have more than one of these. I have a blue one and I have a black one. And why these are so great is because in Manila, especially when you're traveling around, when you're drinking water, you want to put the water in something that has a lid because it's very dusty. If you're just always drinking out of a glass or a mug, that's fine if you're going to drink it right away. But if you're traveling around, or if you're having water like on your desk or something, if you're constantly running running the air conditioner like I am, because it's super hot and super dry here in Manila, then you're gonna want to not drink all of the dust particles that are going into the water. So get a nice stainless steel, something like that, like I have. Clean it once a week, and I'll put all my recommendations in the description. Big fan of a lot of the vendors and products on Amazon. The next thing I recommend are these bad boys right here. These are Tums. Luckily, since the last 3 months that I've been traveling throughout Thailand and throughout the Philippines, I have actually only had to use those Tums like I think 2 times, because let's face it, sometimes you eat too much food and you're really enjoying yourself, or you have like 1 too many alcoholic beverages and you might need some Tums. They don't sell these in Philippines, and I don't think they sell them in Thailand either. I had to order these Tums basically from Lazada.ph, and there's other alternatives like in Watsons and in Boots and stuff like that in Southeast Asia, but they don't hit the same as Tums do. And the last thing you want to do is buy a different product that may or may not be nearly as effective as Tums if you're from the US or Europe or something like that. These are just basically sodium bicarbonate tablets that will neutralize excess stomach acid if you drank too much alcohol, or if you simply ate too much food that was super spicy or super acidic. It's always good to have those as a resource, because if you don't have them, yikes, that could be painful. Number 6, this is just an awesome thing I recommend. This is an Apple TV remote. I brought with me my Apple TV 4K and an HDMI cable because I've been renting furnished Airbnbs and furnished apartments, and they usually have a TV that's like a smart TV. But what's great about having your own Apple TV or Amazon Fire Stick or Roku or different streamer stick, if you do like to watch movies on the TVs, you don't have to sign in to all of your streaming services if you just have an Amazon Fire Stick or a Roku or whatever the Google product is, or an Apple TV like myself. And they're very small and portable as well. And also the menu, the remote is always so much faster and more responsive and just simply better, and it's very easy and very portable to bring. So yeah, you don't have to sign into all your services every time you're in and out of an Airbnb. You just plug it into the HDMI if you want to watch a movie on the TV there and connect it to the Wi-Fi. The remote's way better with an Amazon Fire Stick or an Apple TV. So that's that tip. Yeah, on to the next one. Okay, the 7th thing I don't want you to forget when you come to the Philippines is something like this. This is basically like a bag with this, like a zipper based bag. This happens to be a Lululemon brand in Arizona. If you open up the bag, it has little separate divider like a knit mesh, which is very nice. It fits the iPhone 13 Pro Max perfectly inside of it, and all your cash, any keys. It has an outside zipper compartment, and it's just a nice little buckle strap you can put over your shoulder. Why I recommend you have something like this, because they look a lot better than fanny packs, to be perfectly honest. And they're just super convenient, because when you're getting in and out of cars or motorbikes, you don't want your keys to slip out of your pockets or your phone to slip out of your pocket. So if you have just a nice strap bag like this with a zipper lock safe, it's great for cash, for phone, for keys, for cards, all kinds of stuff, and it's just very useful. And I think that you are going to want to remember to bring something like this. So boom. If you're going to be staying in Manila long term, it is super hot here, super dry, and super dusty. So you're going to want to buy an air filterer, a separate standalone one. I got one that's good for 36 square meters or up to 360 square feet, which is roughly the size of my studio apartment. It ran me about 8,000 or 9,000 pesos, which is about $160 to $180-ish US. It's a Dowel brand, and I'll put a picture for you up here what it looks like. Seriously, the dust is so bad in Manila that it's actually comparable to this scene right over here in the Interstellar movie. Let's take a look. Okay, it might not be that bad, but it's pretty close. Pretty much every day I wake up and look at the TV stand here in my apartment. We can dust it every day. When we wake up after running the HVAC, it's literally full of dust, almost like that clip we're seeing in Interstellar. And the fact is, you don't want to be breathing all that in every night. No good. The next tip, I personally have not invested in a humidifier myself, because I don't know if artificially controlling the humidity in the studio is actually going to help or not. I do know one thing. I lived in Arizona for 9 years, and it's a desert. Okay, a desert. It's hot, it's dry there, and the whole time I was there, I never had skin problems or eyelid inflammation or anything like that. Since I've come to Manila, because of the air quality, probably because of the fumes and the pollution, etc., I kid you not, like the last 2 months, I've had like my eyelids have been like inflamed and bothering me, and I went to the American Eye Center, talked to the top doctor there here in Philippines in the Podium Mall. He said it was dry eye, and he's probably right. But the thing that's ironic is, if you go on your phone, it says that it's like the humidity is really high here in Philippines or in Manila, but it's not. It's like it's the driest place on earth. Like, it's far drier than Arizona in my personal experience, so having a humidifier might not be a bad idea to moisten the air. When I was in Thailand, I didn't have this problem at all when I was in Bangkok. When I was in Bangkok, the air was like super moist, it was like super wet, and like my skin was not dry, my eyelids were not like super inflamed, I didn't have like dry eye, and I've never had dry eye and living in a desert, which is extremely dry. My eyes never got dry in a desert. But when it came to Manila, ironically, like within weeks, my eyes and my eyelids were just like smoked. And I looked around at some of the local population, like not everybody, but I see some local people with their eyelids, they're kind of messed up. If you live in Manila long term, it doesn't affect everybody the same. You got genetic variation, etc., and people's genetic tolerances for what's going on with air quality. But that's just something I wanted to bring up because, yeah, it's something to think about. One extra tip that I have for you. That Jack Black lip balm is awesome. Because it's so dry here, you're gonna probably want a nice lip balm or like lotion for when you're done. That's the other thing, when you get done taking a shower here, the city water is just another thing that's gonna dry your skin out like crazy. So obviously pack your favorite lotion from your origin country, or if Amazon ships it. I personally use like the Hemp's Asian Pear, the green lotion. I find that to be fantastic. I like it. It doesn't over moisturize my skin leading to like pimples, but rather it just has a balancing effect where my skin's no longer dry, and it's just kind of a great balance. So I recommend that lotion. I recommend that lip balm. That's what I've been using for years. You cannot get that easily here in Philippines. I had to ship the lotion from Amazon to the United States all the way here. It took like 2 or 3 weeks and it was expensive. The lip balm though, luckily I did find on Shopee.ph. And if you're a foreigner, you're not going to be able to sign up for a Shopee account without having, you're gonna need a local phone number here in the Philippines. That's the first thing. Same with Lazada. And with Shopee, you're gonna need a local bank account probably, or most likely, or a Gcash app that is fully verified in order to actually pay for things you buy on Shopee. There is an option on Shopee and Lazada where you can order the product and then you can pay for it with cash upon delivery. So that's one kind of loophole or workaround to not having a local bank account. But if you did hypothetically have a local bank account, then you could just pay for everything online and you don't have to pay cash on delivery. But for Lazada.ph and Shopee, which is 2 E's and 2 P's.ph, you are going to want to use those sites as a replacement to Amazon if you're accustomed to using Amazon as a United States person, or just for online drop shipping and delivery for products that aren't sold here locally in the Philippines. Facebook Marketplace and Carousel.ph also are two terrific resources for selling pre-owned items or buying secondhand or pre-owned items such as appliances or clothes or whatever, like household items. If you want to sell stuff or buy stuff secondhand that's going to be cheaper, that's been pre-owned or pre-used, even name brand stuff, just be careful, make sure you're buying authentic stuff. With Facebook Marketplace and with Carousel.ph, usually there's a review system, so if these folks have done business with other people and they've been reviewed correctly, that usually means that they're legit and trustworthy. But those are just 2 additional resources that you'll probably find helpful here as a foreigner coming into the Philippines. Another thing I recommend is getting your air conditioner unit cleaned at least once every 1 to 2 months, depending on your taste or preferences. I'm probably gonna get mine cleaned at least once every 2 months, but obviously having that air purifier is going to help. Again, if you're right in the capital of Philippines, in Manila, in the city, super dry here, super hot, super dusty, not ideal long term, I don't think, for a foreigner or anyone who cares about things. If you don't care about those things at all the power to you. That's something that I do happen to care about. I don't like being in a super duper duper sandpaper is dryish place. Although the upsides of living in Manila are absolutely fantastic. The malls here, the restaurants here, the transportation systems and stuff like that are also very nice. I'm not against Manila. I've been living here and I'm enjoying living in Manila, and there's a ton of benefits to living in Manila. If I were able to personally solve these little tiny problems with a humidifier or something, that would definitely get rid of pretty much one of the top downsides in my experience. So cool. This has been Justin Spencer. I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. If you did, the way you can send value back to me is to hit that like button and to consider subscribing. You rock, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.